Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Healing Journey, where I'm going to be discussing what self growth and self care can look like, what recovery can look like, what learning faith can look like. Through my experiences and through my relationship with God on my page, I discuss mental health issues that are really hard for me. That felt like I was the only person in the world that had them. And when I would be stuck in my head and couldn't get out of my body and couldn't force myself up, screaming inside my own mind, I found a voice that was there in the dark. And I want to tell you about that. And maybe I can help you find your own answers. You know, it seemed like forever that I asked everyone for the answer. Ask everyone the questions. Because these questions were being asked to me. These were the thoughts that I would think, the only thoughts that I would think. From something as simple as this right here. With my healthy, you will not find real fads on my page for weight loss. It's unhealthy. But I do believe in the power of hormone therapy, natural hormone therapy. I actually know what I'm talking about when it comes to beef, and what healthy beef is, and why some beef is upward to $500. And the reason why is how the animal was fed, how it was cared for. Animals that were loved are different in taste. And I don't mean to be crass, but animals that died a certain way, you can taste it. It hurts the meat. It hurts the enzymes. It hurts the breakdown. And I had this weird kind of crass thoughts. I have some crass thoughts sometimes. And what I mean by that is it's kind of a hard thought. And then I must ask myself, well, why did I have such a hard thought? And as I was a butcher and being a human and having the mental issues and being a manager and seeing what people were truly struggling with, these themes seem to correlate. People who were struggling like me were in PJs and their hair wasn't fixed, and there's just nothing on the outside that showed light because there was nothing on the inside that had any. A battle of wills, if you will. And everyone has their theory from all of time. We all do. I want to keep the sacredness of having the right to worship with your faith, having the right to believe truly with honor that you believe differently than me, and that at least you'll be able to respect me, because I'm not going to come after you or your things. What I'm more interested is what I'm interested in is your mental health, your mental age. Where are you? What kind of struggles are you having? The whole purpose was, when I got on here, was to help people in threads, but there was just so many. So I made it. And I think originally one of the first people who watched it was someone from Threads. I don't want to say wrong, but I think it was someone who followed me over. And it's because that place needs someone like me, because this is all I did, and I got nothing but beautiful responses of people just needing someone to hear them. And that is what my page is. I am definitely a recover page. Recover from life. Recover from the news. Recover from the politics. Recover from the pain. Recover in the pain. Recover in the politics. Recover in what we all feel like we are all just stuck in. Let me remind you, those 90s videos, 80 videos, remember when, AI trend, they always get me. because they did it did it so perfectly, this AI, of what it felt like before our hearts emotionally just what happened in early September of early 2000s didn't just hit one country. The impact of those years impacted the world. For up until that point, we had had tragedies in our country as a country, but every time us as a country stand one more time, the rest of the world looks to see, can David take it anymore? Is Goliath gonna win this time? And I'm here to tell you, not while I'm standing. And I have fought and clawed and cried, and a fierceness I am learning, this overcoming new feeling that I'm feeling, that it's, I don't know if it's a shaking or if it's a conviction or if I'm just here to say I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had it up to here, with the hate, with the lies, with the manipulation, with the scamming, with the self-hate, the self-pain, the self-isolation, the broken to the point that you just don't know what to do anymore. You know, I'm coming from a place that you couldn't go home, you couldn't call your mom, you couldn't call your dad. All the things that when you were young that brought you comfort are on the same side of the conversation that you don't want to have. That, my friends, is a rock and a hard place. Because you know, this time when you have that conversation, things will change, because they must. Things will change because they must. And this was the experience, all of that I just brought you through, was how I met God. I was afraid. I was terrified. I thought I had lost my mind. I thought I was schizophrenic. I thought I had all of these things, when really it was just my own mind fragmented into memories of moments that I couldn't recover from, that I couldn't talk about, that I couldn't get through. Pieces of myself that stood in that moment because I abandoned it there. It was the part of me that stood. It was the part of me that saw the truth for what it was. And I left her there. In all the worst places, I left her there. That little girl, I left her there. And to know that I have healed and that I have grown truly into who I am. The little girl grew up. She saved herself up with some friends and some visitors and some gifts she didn't understand. But my page is about recovery. It's about dinner and having someone to eat with. It's about never having the answer, but I can sit with you. It's about fulfilling little dreams for people. Little moments, little tacos. There was a comedian that said he bought his friend, him and his wife, a taco. And he said they called him crying because he never knew what that moment meant. Well, I'm here to tell you that speaker didn't know what that moment meant to me, because that was the moment the speaker, the motivational speaker, the coach, was born in me. Because I could make people feel that way. I do it all the time. Maybe I have something to offer that I never would have looked for if I wasn't so broken that I would be humble enough to see it. This is the healing phase, all about self-care and recovery. Please comment anything you would like me to pray over or talk about or discuss. Have a nice